also. So we're getting close to addressing two barriers actually, and how you can do that. Maybe I'll explain this in a situation. Let's say my name is Frank. Your name is Frank. You have a plumbing business. I didn't mean, if your name's Frank and you're watching this and you have a plumbing business, I don't mean to point you out. It's just the first thing I thought of. There's a way, there's several ways, but I'm going to give you one way you can actively get reviews that you can do today for free. You don't need me, you don't need anybody else. I'm just going to give you a template, and I'm going to give you the tool, and we're actually going to build this together right now. So hopefully I hope that's going to be helpful for you. Let's get into this. So what you can do is get somebody's email and phone, right? I'm assuming that you'll probably get that information, but you may not. And so you might want to have a way of getting a cheap Android tablet and having a small form on that tablet to collect information, to collect their ideally name, email, and phone. If you can get those three things, that would be ideal. Next thing is the product we're going to use to build this out, and it is called Sendinblue, and they were originally an email service provider, like for marketing emails, and they have an amazing free offering. So we're gonna jump on it, and I think it's gonna do wonders for you. So they've since then built out other tools which they provide completely for free. And as you can see, they give you the ability to send SMS. And as far as we know, outside of the big gateways, they are the cheapest that we've been able to find. And part of that process involves making sure that you have placements in the directories like Google My Business, like in Facebook, like in Yelp. Although in the initial term, if you have very few reviews or no reviews, then definitely use Google My Business and Facebook. We'll get into why a little bit later before you hit up Yelp. So get your links, and we're going to create an automation with both SMS and email, and I think hopefully this is going to rock it. So you can go to bit.ly/SIB, which stands for Sendinblue Free, or you can just go to sendinblue.com. Either way, I just thought maybe this would be easier to remember. I wanted for you guys to walk away with some sort of tangible means of getting reviews. If you have questions about the setup, you can email me after. I'm going to give you my personal email. You can email me after. I'll help you out with specific step-by-step directions with getting yourself set up if that's confusing for you. There's a few services. You can really use any service to do this, any email marketing service. I recommend Sendinblue because A, it's free. B, they give you most of their features for free. And C, they also they give you a bunch of other additional features for free. I don't work for Sendinblue. I'm not trying to advertise Sendinblue, but I just find that for beginners is probably the best way to start. And the fourth thing is that they also give you the ability to send SMS. And so we're going to go through this. We're just going to plow through it. And which two barriers is this going to address? It's going to address hopefully your QRB, right? If you have few or low reviews, you're going to get more moving forward because you're going to have a way of getting those reviews and testimonials. And the second review barrier that this is going to address, and maybe even primarily, is the DRB, or the diminishing review barrier, because what this does is it's going to more or less automate this process for you. And so you only have to get somebody's information. Once you get their information, you send them through this process. Right. So let's go ahead and do that. There was another service that I wanted to call out. It's called Sender.net. I don't recommend them, at least not for this purpose, unless you have several clients. I don't know. If you have several clients, or maybe you want a tool that's a little bit easier, They're a newer player. They don't have an as established product, but they do give you 2,500 free contacts and 15,000 emails per month. No SMS capability as far as I know. So that's also a solution. Sender.net. Good if you're just getting started in email marketing. They have a nice simple tool. But for this purpose, I'm just going to show you in Sendinblue. So in your case, if you don't have a Sendinblue account, you would sign up free. In my case, I've had this account for a while, and I'm just going to sign in. So hopefully you guys haven't dropped out, haven't fallen asleep, and you're still watching my screen. What we're going to do, we're not going to go through the setup, right? So typically you log in here, there'll be some pop-ups and fill out some information. Some things you need for CAN spam and so on. So CAN spam is, by the way, the laws that govern email marketing in the U.S. And so then you would go to senders and IP, and you connect your domain, and it doesn't really take that long to do it. You would have to do it anyway for any email marketing service provider. So just if you have problems with it, you can always contact me. I'm just gonna jump into this. So we're just gonna start from the beginning. I'm gonna assume some of these services are turned off. If you're just opening your account, you just click on this plus sign right here and just enable automation transactional emails, SMS emails, transactional SMS. You can enable the other things as well. Some of the, I think everything but retargeting they give you for free. I believe so. Integrations. This is if you want to port your data. Let's say you're a customer of any of these other services, you can port your data. Mailchimp. A lot of people use Mailchimp. In many ways, Sendinblue is much cheaper, right? Their first entry plan is $25 a month, and you get 40,000 emails per month, um, and unlimited contacts. So that's gonna beat out almost everybody else. And the reason why is because you usually pay per contact. With Sendinblue, you pay per email. So here we have CRM and contacts. We're just going to go to contacts, and we need to create our list. And again, most email service providers don't want to hold on to your data unless you're paying for it. Sendinblue is different. They will, at least for as long as I've known, they allow you to upload as many records as you want. So you can technically, as long as you're not sending emails, you can store all your data within Sendinblue, and they'll just keep it in the cloud for you. You can download it whenever you want. You can do whatever you want with it, but it's just nice that they let you do that. And so they let you, on the pre-plan, you get to send 300 emails per day. Mine says 600 because I have a kind of older account. And you'll want to create a new list. So typically you will go to list, and we'll add a new, you see I already have a list here, but we'll add a new list, and we'll call the list test list because that is the name for every test list. And you may need to create the fields here. I think I already, what you'll need is first name for sure. They usually give you SMS, I believe, or phone also works. And an email, which is, you can see it's, the email is what's called is the key, the field key. So that's included in every list. Right, so next we'll add a record. Just gonna add myself. And this is just for testing purposes. All right. Oh. All right, so we got a record. And the second thing we need to do is forms. We have to have a way of sending data to Sendinblue. And you can also have automated integrations. We can talk about it after if you don't know what that means or if you want to know how to do that. Um, but you click on forms, you go create a new subscription form, and this is actually going to be used by you. So after a deal takes place, or whenever that result ends up being where maybe your customer is in a good mood, you've delivered some sort of result, this is what you would do. So we're going to create a form. We're going to call this ideal result. And this doesn't matter what this looks like. Don't worry about it, right? My business form. You can call this whatever you want because nobody else is going to see it except for you. Okay. So we're going to add a few things here. We're going to add we're going to add SMS. I know it says text field and the SMS is a number field, but this is their internal field to send text messages. And that's why we're just going to call this SMS. I'm going to click add. You don't want to click required fields because you don't want to limit yourself. And we are going to add another field, first name. Add. So we have everything we need here, more or less. You can. This is on a simple level. You can make this more advanced by adding more data. We're going to remove CAPTCHA. Also good because you don't want to have to click that every time you add somebody. You just want it to make it easy for yourself, right? You're gonna add your client's name. You're gonna add their phone number, and you're gonna add their first name and subscribe with it. And then the rest of it is just gonna be automated. Um, so I'm gonna click save. Oh. And we're gonna connect this to test list. So sorry, we need to add test list here, not here. So scroll down. You're going to have no confirmation because you don't really need one. It will be a success message, or it'll tell you if an email exists. You can set it up to forward to a web page if you needed to, but you don't really need to. You just need it to. You just need a forum, email, a phone number to send SMS to, and first name, and you want to connect it to your list, right? I have a few lists. Connect it to the one that's relevant to you, and we're going to click save. All right, so now we have our form. Back just to show you where that's in. So if you click forms, right, here's our ideal result form. And remember, that's for you. And so when you click share form, you're going to get this URL. What I recommend you do is go to like a website like bit.ly.com. So again, I just clicked share form right here. There's a little icon next to the list. Share form, took the list, took the link. I have an account already. Bitly is used by a lot of people, so pretty easy to use little SaaS tool. I'm just gonna call it my form. And we're gonna call it my form submissions. I don't know. We're gonna make it easier. And we want to make this easy, right? So it's SMB reviewer form. Obviously, make it easy, make it short and sweet so you can remember it, right? Because what's going to happen is that when you do your service or whatever the ideal timing is, you want to go to that website and it's going to pull up your form. You're going to put in your customer's name, first name, email, and phone number, and that's going to trigger an automation. Before we get to that automation, let's get to the campaign. So we have to create a campaign first. So here I've kind of already created one. Maybe for the sake of time, I won't get into it more than that. But the way you do it is like this. You want to go to templates. It may be intuitive to go to email, right? We're going to start with email, but you want to go to template first. And here you see new template. Here's the template I created for this purpose. It looks like this. But what we want to do is create a new template. Okay. Hopefully for you, it'll load a little bit faster, but oh, here we go. So this is the email that I created. You see how easy it is? It's very simple. It says, what was your experience like? Rate us based on what you think we deserve. And I tried to you want to personalize it as much as possible. So this is going to test template. Let's go review capture. Subject line. For this subject line, you can take exactly what I wrote. You see where it says first name? See that? We want to make this personalized. So we want to say hi first name. Nothing. We want it to show nothing if there is no first name. And this is what it says. Hi first name. Hi Jill. Can I ask for your advice and feedback? By the way, quick marketing tip. Never say, can you fill out this survey? People respond well in when you ask for people's advice. This is like almost everywhere. I don't know why. It's a psychological thing. People like giving advice. They don't like filling out surveys. They don't like filling out. So ask for advice. Can I get your advice? The preview text is something maybe if you have Gmail, you'll notice, or some other, and probably most other email clients. There's like a little light gray area that has a little bit of text. You can just say, this will only take and from. So after you do the setup, you can create your from. Um, in this case, I'm just going to put myself. It's better if it's personalized, right? We have Vic from SMB Reviewer. The email that it's going to send from is Vic at SMB Reviewer. Reply to just also can be anything, whatever you contact us. To field, you can customize this to be like the first name. If you want, just leave it blank. You don't need to do that. Um, some of this other stuff you don't really need to worry about. I think it's good to add a mirror link because if people can't see it for whatever reason, it adds a link at the top to view this in a browser. So we're going to click next step. We're going to use their drag and drop editor. It's going to make it real easy. And I'll show you what I did. All right, here's the logo. I already uploaded my logo. You just click add an image. And we're just going to actually follow their default template more or less. So it's probably here. Okay, here's my default logo. We're just going to put it there like that. Done. Don't add a link. Don't do anything. You want people to focus on giving you feedback. So what else did I do here? See this view in browser? That was because we checked off add a mirror link. That's why I did that. So here I just added this little bit of paragraph like so. So here's the design elements. You just grab text, drag it here. So the message is going to read hi, first name, that same first name that was in the subject line. This is Vic, founder of SMB Reviewer. You're going to change that to hi, this is Jill, founder of XYZ company or whatever. I want you to know what your experience with the webinar was today. And you're going to change that to experience with XYZ, with the plumbing service that we provided today. We greatly value your advice and would love to know if you had any feedback on our service. Okay, pretty easy. You want to keep it simple. Remember how I said earlier, make it easy, make it simple. And we're going to make it incredibly simple, and you're going to see how coming up. So the next thing is we're going to add a title. What was your experience like? Just in case I didn't read the little message we wrote. And that's where we're going to get rid of all this stuff. How do you do that? So in this case, well, we're going to get rid of this. We don't need it. You just go to the top right corner, click delete. Delete. And this we're going to leave down here for now. Here we're going to turn off the button. Okay, so and we're going to turn off this image. See how I did that? I click here. This is the box. This is technically this one, this image box. And I turn off the image for this. And you see when you click on the element, it lets you turn it off. So I turned it off because we don't need it. What we're going to do is we're going to, what was your service like? And we're going to add we're going to add instructions here, right below the title that we just wrote. And we're going to select the star between 1 and technically 5. You want to do 5 stars because most directories use 5 stars. That accurately reflects your sentiment with our business. After which you'll be able to leave a response. I should say, you can say anything here. Leave your feedback. Now this is important. We're gonna get into this. What I'm gonna write here. Please tell us your story. What's your story? Please share your story. Writing this a little bit simply for now, but I recommend actually that you kind of maybe play with some of this copy because what we want to do, and we're going to address this in the last review barrier, which is you want people to talk about their experience. You don't want people to write always great or always good. George is fine. That's going to end up not helping you nearly as much as people sharing their stories. So we want to motivate people to share their stories. But in the meantime, I'm just going to write this. And the next thing is we want this to be intuitive, right? I mentioned that earlier. Make it intuitive. So we're going to add 5 images. Okay. And the way I did that is I just typed in images.google.com and I just typed in 5 stars. And I just copied one of these images and I opened it in Paint and I created 5 images. I first of all I took off this upper white area and just more or less just showed the 5 stars um, as neatly as possible, and then without the margins, and then I created from that image I created 5 images, which is the one with 5 stars, cut out 1 star, saved one with 4 stars. So I quickly created 5 stars. I'll just do that real quick actually, just to show you how easy that is. It's not hard. So you're just going to copy this image. Right there it says copy image. And open paint.net, which is like paint but on steroids. It's also do a lot of things that you do in Photoshop, but it's just simple. I love this tool. I've been using it for years. So we're going to click new image. We're going to paste, just Control V, paste your image. And we're going to save this. We're going to just call it 5 stars. Whatever, you can save it as a PNG or JPEG. You see I've already done that. So I'm not gonna save it here because you see I've already done it here. Just save 5 stars. Then you're going to just use this highlight tool, remove a star, then do save as, file save as, and then just type in 4 stars. And you see I've done that with 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars. And we're gonna do that because we're gonna make something that looks like this. We're gonna add 5 stars first, and it's important to add 5 stars first. You don't want to start with 1 star. You want people to think 5 stars. So add 5 stars first, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. And this is where the magic comes. And then we're going to add a thank you message. So this thank you message is actually just this little paragraph here. Just copy paste. So for the next little part here, you're just going to look in the description and you could just copy what I wrote in the template in the either in the description or right below this video, and it's just and then you can edit it to how you deem fit. And so the last thing is we just want to add these. Remember how in the example, and we're just going to duplicate that and duplicate and duplicate 5 times here. And we take 4, 3, 2, and I'm just dragging from the left panel to the email. And 1, and you see, and we're just going to do save and quit. That's it. We finished our email. Oh, actually, there's one more thing we had to do. Oh, is it too late? Do I need to? Okay, do you see here it says image link? So for the 4 and the 5 stars, what you want to do is when you click on this image and this menu comes up on the right, you want to post the link, and we're just going to start with Google My Business, but you can do this with Facebook and almost anywhere else, you want to share the link of your Google My Business directory. So, and then after that, so this is our link. We've defined this in Google My Business gpage/SMB reviewer. You can change this, I think, 3 times a year. And then after that, we're going to add /review. And the reason why we want to do that is because if they rate us 4 or 5 stars, they already have a favorable impression. They already had a good experience. So we want them to share that experience here. So when they click on 4 or 5 stars, it's going to open this link here. It's going to open the link to your Google My Business. And it's the first thing it's going to ask, because we added /review. You see, SMB reviewer, build trust for your business. That's our business here. And the first thing it's going to do is ask for 4 out of 5 stars, what their experience was, and it says share the details of your experience. And people will write their message, and they can add photos and I think videos as well, and they can just click post. And we don't have to, and that's going to be hosted on Google My Business. We don't have to do anything more than that. And if they click on 1 to 3 stars, what we want to do is have those linked to a form. And that form is just going to be name, email, and a message. And so that if people have a poor experience, they can give us their feedback without it affecting our online reputation. And that's what I wanted to share, is like, you can do this today. This is something, you see how fast I set this up? I created a new email template and just got it going. Just like that. Here's our email right here. Save and activate. And I'm not saying that this is the best design or this is exactly the best way to do it. However, okay, so it says that we're activated. So let's save and quit. And we have to activate our template, or else it goes into this inactive section. So now we have an active template here. And the last thing we need to do, right, assuming everything's all set up, is we're going to create an automation. And this is where the magic happens. Maybe for the sake of time, I'm just going to edit the one that I already made. And it's the same process, because when you click new automation, you're just going to see a screen like this. The only difference is that I've already kind of filled this out. And after you set it live, it's just going to work. So I'm going to show you. It's going to run live. And so basically, when you go to this bit.ly link, right, we have a bit.ly SMB reviewer form. Remember that link we created that was the first thing we did? We created this form. So when we put in people's information, it's going to trigger an immediate automation. And how long is that going to take? How long is it going to take to go into your type in this address, bit.ly.com/SMB reviewer form, open the form, put in their name, email, and cell phone number, and then trigger this. That's it. It's going to take 30 seconds. And as long as you're consistent with that, there's no reason why that shouldn't start getting you reviews and testimonials. And you can make it as sophisticated as you want. And I'll show you what I mean. So here we have, okay, what's your entry point? The entry point is the form, right? So what we do is, I've already done it here, but this is what this would look like. You want people to, submits a contact submits a form. What was our form? Ideal result. Remember that? So when we click OK, so here it's saying either form, either this form or that form. But in your case, when you create your form, it's just going to be just look like this. It's just going to be one form. So when people submit this form, what happens? They're going to be sent an email. Okay, which email? I'll just show you what that looks like. We're going to send them an email. It's the first option. Review capture. That's the email we made. And that's it. We click OK. We can also make a delay if we don't want it to go out right away. You just click on the plus and you say add a delay. How much do you want to add? 10 minutes, 2 hours, whatever you want. Because it might depend on your situation. Like if you just finish a deal or something, or you just provide a service, you might want to wait a little bit. So then we want to send an email. What else do we want to do? Maybe we add a delay here and we want to send an SMS. Okay. So here you can say, who do you want this to come from? SMB reviewer. Hey, just look at how personalized this will be. Thanks for your business. I was wondering if we can get your advice. Remember, you only have 160 characters. You want to do this ideally in one SMS. So you say, hey, thanks for your business. I was wondering if we can get your advice. Can you tell me about your experience today? Click here. And then we'll have a link, right? So the only thing is when it comes to SMS, you can, I should say this. You can just link to your Google My Business. But then there's gonna you kind of if somebody has a poor experience and they rate you poorly, then you don't want to do that, right? You don't want to endanger your reputation a little bit. So we're going to instead of sending them to Google My Business, we're going to send them to a form, or actually the web version of that email. You can send them to the web version. You can actually send them to a web page. And so technically, if we well, typically, so the way you can get a web version is you just send a test email to yourself and click in view in browser. Um, I don't think that Sendinblue has the ability. Let's see, can we edit this? Yeah. This is another thing I should have pointed out. You want to pick the time. You don't want it to be. Um, you don't want it to send at 1 in the morning. And actually, a lot of SMS companies, or sorry, a lot of phone companies will block your SMS messages anyway if you send them late at night. So um, you want it to send. You can say any day, and then from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Those are good hours. You see, and you can craft that so that that same day they get a message. Then you could put a delay of, see, like here I have wait 3 days, and then I say if anybody at a condition. What is the condition? Let me show you if it looks up. If else conditions. If somebody clicked on our campaign, all links at any time. Okay. So we're saying that if anybody clicked on this email, no, then we can end it here. But I mean, yes, then we can end it here. But if they didn't, then we can send another email. And you can keep creating these flows. You can keep adding templates and emails saying like, hey, just a reminder, we didn't hear from you. And all this is automated. All you had to do in the beginning was just set this up one time. Of course, if it's getting you low results, you can alter it. You could add more SMS messages. You could, I just wanted to create a simple flow for you guys so that you can see how you can take steps right now to adding this method of getting reviews to your business cycle or your sales cycles. Even if they're simple, just over the counter transactions, people still have experiences with that. And if you offer people 50% off for, actually that sounds like a lot. It might be worth it in your case though, because if you don't have reviews, you might need them. So you could say 50% off under 20 bucks. You know what I mean? So you don't have to spend a ton of money to start getting this to work for you. But the idea is to start getting reviews under your belt, start building your reputation, start getting people to talk about you. And you see, you can set it up one time in Sendinblue, and it'll Sendinblue will take care of it. All you have to do is just either have the customer add their information. You don't even have to add it. You just have to show them the form. Or you can do it yourself. If you're a plumber or something, you have access to that information already. It might be easier if you do it. So I didn't want to spend too much time. I think I spent a lot more time on that than I wanted to. However, I just wanted you to walk away with something tangible. I wanted you to have something that you can do starting today. So hopefully that was helpful. Actually, can you let me know real quick uh, if you could leave a comment or send me an email? That would be awesome. Just to let me know how this presentation was for you. Was it too detailed? Not detailed enough? That info would be good. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. And if you have questions for this, you can always send me an email, and at the last slide, I'll give you all that information.